Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to A Natural Gland Bodybuilding. Mountain. And today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite ways to work out, which is something that a lot of you guys who have been doing this thing a long time might have stumbled across here and there. And I also think whether this is a great way for you to train or not might depend on your own constitution and muscle fiber content, ratios, fast twitch or slow twitch, whatever it might be. But one thing that I noticed that I keep returning back to is the well-being bodybuilding. I keep returning back to the well-being bodybuilding because I noticed that chasing numbers in the gym is good to a point. Like lifting some heavy weight is good and you get a certain great feel from that. But at the same time, it is tougher on the joints and it does beat you up a bit, so there's a certain amount of aches and pains that you notice when you're just lifting heavier poundages, regardless of range of motion and so forth. So one thing that I really like to do is return back to simplicity and use lighter weights, higher frequency type of training, and just pump the blood through the body. And because of the higher frequency involved, I noticed that I don't have to use as heavy a weight to get the same well-being or overall good feeling in the system. So there's lots of times where I'll take a week or two and just train this way, such as doing whole body workouts or maybe even 2-day split workouts, but just doing lighter weights, pumping out the reps, and then adding in some extra body parts to increase that frequency. So I'm almost doing a whole body workout every day, but maybe I'm missing out on a body part here and there if I feel like there's a certain body part that needs a bit of rest. So really what I'm saying is that I use this method to reset my system into well-being being the foundation and the feeling of the pump and the muscles contracting. And then I may go into heavier weights for periods of time as well, right? But if there's an area that I feel some aches and pains around, I may stay lighter in that area. So say for instance, I'm getting some sort of knee tightness. Like say my knees are feeling tight. I may stay to lighter weights in the squats and lunges and stick to some heavier weights with the upper body movements, right? So you can kind of mix and match a bit. But I think people underestimate how effective it is to work with your body instead of against it. And when you're young, when you're first training, you can get away with a lot of mistakes. You can just pound it to death, right? You can pound the joints to death and then the body will recover, and then pound them to death and then it'll recover. But I do feel that as you age, you start to be more accountable, at least, to wiser approaches to training. Not because you're less effective or not because you are somehow less in some way, but more because this is the natural state of things. The natural state of things demands that you grow from your experiences, metaphorically, spiritually, and maybe physically, right? But the fact is that when you start to embrace that there are certain actions that just break you down and add very little benefit, and then there's other actions that offer stimulation for the body to grow and harmonize with, you start to make more choices in the harmony section than just the destruction for the sake of destruction itself, right? Just squatting 5 or 6 plates just for the sake of showing off or putting a certain amount of stress on the body. So I think as you go along this journey, you're going to notice that you balance out both these worlds in a much more harmonious way. So again, I'm not saying to give up all heavy weights. I'm just saying that if you notice that your body's sending you signs that the heavy weights are just breaking you down too aggressively, then you can get some very effective growth from lighter weights, but higher frequency. And just these, you could call them groove workouts, where you're constantly refining the groove, getting the pump, getting the muscular burn, but you're not burning out the joints in the process. And I think that by doing this, you not only rehabilitate certain areas and maintain muscle mass, you may also put on muscle in areas that are undiscovered by you so far because you were too fixated on growing in numbers in lifting heavy weight. So yeah, this is something that I return to over and over again. It just, sometimes you'll notice that you will return to certain things over and over again because they just feel right. And your mind might not understand it, but sometimes the feeling will guide you. And I think the feeling is going to have more wisdom in it than you just following some idealism or competitiveness or some ego. So yeah, just blend these different disciplines together, and I think you're going to get a lot more results in the long run. Mountain. So thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get hold of me, just go to naturalgalantbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. I'll see you guys too. I'll see you guys later too.